Alright, so now we gotta separate. The whole process of this is get these captive rotors off. And what I did is I just took these bolts here, which are let's see, M10s, which means they're should be 10 millimeters. I believe it was 1.25 pitch thread, and these ones are 90 millimeters long. And I just removed the old bolts, those 12-point sockets that were in there, and then put these in. The final one was the wrong thread pitch. I had about 4 of them, but it didn't fit because it was the wrong thread pitch. Let me just get yourself, like I'm using a 5-pound sledge, and tap them. Now I kind of cheated because this came out way easier than I thought it was going to be. And let's take a look at some things here. So you can see the bolts there and how that kind of worked there. So by threading it in and then hitting it, I was able to drive this out, and that's the whole big problem with these captive rotors. So now this should come off. I'll fight with that in a bit, but now I just got to back off my bolts and then take that off. And again, WD-40 is your friend. I hit it and let it soak a little bit and help get the rust. And it came off a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. It took a couple good whacks with the hammer, but then it did drive out there, and you just saw the final drive out there. And I only had to hit it on 2 bolts, and it seemed to work well. It's better if you had all 4 and you kind of spaced them out, kind of did a crisscross pattern when you hit on it. But anyway, so that's where I'm at right now. Alright, so I took the last bolt, that guy right there, took the last one off, and it just actually just plopped right off there. Let me set up the stand here so you can watch this. And so now what you do is you just line this up. There's little grooves notched out for this, and there you go. So all that work was to get this off, and again, because they put the rotor behind this hub, that's what made this such the job. And kind of back up a little bit. So now I'm just gonna clean it up, and this rotor actually doesn't look too bad. But I'm gonna, you need to, if you're gonna put new shoes on, you should at least have your rotors turned. So I'll probably take that in, get it turned, and then if it's turnable, and then maybe sell it secondhand, because I got new rotors. And yeah, so that's where we're at, and just gonna clean this up and then hopefully start reassembling this thing. Alright, it's starting to sprinkle outside, so I moved the operation to the inside. Some things I want to show you is just lay your caliper or your rotor so that the hub part or the higher part sitting up like that, and this side's kind of the outside. You can see where your lug nuts go on there, and on the bottom, there's little grooves here, so there's only one way this is going to drop in. If you just line it up, put it in like that, and if you look down, let's see if I get a camera angle on this. Right, you can see I just dropped it in by accident perfectly, but you can see the holes line up there. So all I got to do now is bring my bolts, which are right there, up to the back side of this. Let's get my camera stand going. Sorry about that. And so that's going to be kind of the tricky part. In fact, I doubt if I'm going to get on the first shot, so I'm not going to make you watch me. All I'm going to do is bring the bolts up through. I'll show you after I get them started. Yeah, I don't know what I was quite thinking there. You go from the bolts going from the top, so it's really easy. You just kind of lift this up and put these in. Now they had somebody had put a different bolt there, so I'm going to leave that one off, because if you use a different bolt, it's going to be a different weight, and you don't want to have a lopsided wheel. I mean, you could balance it off by putting lead weight on the other side, but there's no need to do that. So I'll probably just order the correct bolt from the Honda dealer there. Just be done with that. So all I'm going to do is get my ratchet and not put them on real tight. I'm just going to snug it up so it fits good. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up for tonight. It's getting too dark outside and I want to show you how I put this on. But all I did is I grabbed a other bolt off the other side, and so I could finish up this side. And so they're still loose. They need to be torqued on, but I'll do that when it's on the car. And that's about it for now. The next thing would be to basically, I'm going to take the, see these, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's some offset. They're a little bit offset. So I'm just going to put that back on the car. It'll only go on one way. And then put the bolts on that and torque it. And I also still need to, I'm going to clean up in here, put a little axle grease. You want to use high temp because it breaks and they get hot. And that should be about it for that. Maybe put some around this edge here to help it seat in better. But so I'm going to stop for right there and I'll pick it up later on.